Why him? The unexpected name chase Hudson chose, and why ARMY can't stop talking about it. What happens when a rising American star, known for heartbreak anthems and cinematic chaos, casually drops a single name, and that name sends an entire global fandom into emotional overdrive? What if the person he chose wasn't just any idol, but Kim Taehyung? And what if this confession wasn't rehearsed, wasn't calculated, but quietly honest? When Chase Hudson sat down for a recent interview with Swun.com, no one expected the conversation to spiral into one of the most talked about cross-cultural moments of the week. There were no flashing headlines prepared in advance, no teaser clips hinting at what was about to happen. And yet, with one simple answer, Hudson triggered waves of surprise, curiosity, pride, and emotional resonance that rippled across social media platforms worldwide. Because when asked about BTS, arguably the most influential music group of the 21st century, Chase Hudson didn't hesitate. He didn't pause. He didn't hedge, he said, plainly and confidently, "Kim Taehyung is my favorite BTS member." And just like that, everything changed. The question now echoing across fandom spaces isn't just who he chose, but why? Why Taehyung? Why now? And what does it mean when an American actor and musician, known for his own brooding artistry and emotional storytelling, publicly aligns himself with one of K-pop's most enigmatic figures? The answers, it turns out, run far deeper than a casual fan preference. Chase Hudson, widely recognized for his role in the musical film Downfall's HYBE, has spent years cultivating an image built on emotional vulnerability, artistic darkness, and raw self-expression. His music leans into heartbreak. His performances often blur the line between acting and confession. And his public persona has always suggested a fascination with artists who communicate more through feeling than explanation. So when he named Kim Taehyung, also known globally as V, as his favorite BTS member, fans didn't just hear a name. They heard a reflection, because Taehyung is, in many ways, the emotional paradox of BTS. He is both soft-spoken and commanding, quiet yet unforgettable. A performer who can dominate a stadium without saying a word, whose gaze alone has become the subject of endless analysis, admiration, and myth-making for longtime ARMYs. Hudson's confession felt less like a surprise and more like confirmation of something they've always known. Taehyung doesn't just attract fans, he attracts artists, and that distinction matters. Within minutes of the interview clip circulating, social media timelines began to shift. Quotes were screenshotted, clips were reposted. Fan comments ranged from playful disbelief to emotional validation. Some asked, asterisk, did he just say that so casually? Asterisk, others wrote, asterisk, of course it's Taehyung. It's always Taehyung. Asterisk, and many more simply said, asterisk, he gets it. Asterisk, because for ARMYs, Kim Taehyung isn't just a visual icon or a vocalist with a distinct baritone. He represents an emotional frequency, one that resonates deeply with people who live, create, and feel intensely, and Chase Hudson, by all accounts, fits that category. What makes this moment especially powerful is its timing. Kim Taehyung has long been recognized not only as a global superstar, but as a cultural bridge, someone whose influence quietly transcends borders, genres, and industries. From fashion houses to film directors, from jazz musicians to indie artists, Taehyung's presence has consistently drawn admiration from creatives who see something familiar in his artistry. Hudson's words didn't feel like fan service. They felt instinctive, and that authenticity is what gave the statement its weight. Industry observers were quick to note how moments like this signal a broader shift in global pop culture dynamics. A decade ago, Western artists praising K-pop idols was still framed as novelty. Today, it's increasingly framed as peer recognition. Chase Hudson isn't a passive consumer of pop culture. He's a creator, a storyteller, a performer who understands the cost of emotional exposure. And when someone like him singles out Kim Taehyung, it suggests recognition not just of fame, but of artistic depth. That's why fans didn't just celebrate the mention. They dissected it. Was it Taehyung's performance in cinematic projects like Layover Promotions that caught Hudson's attention? Was it the emotional minimalism of his solo work? The fashion editorial presence that blurs masculinity and softness? Or was it something less definable, the aura that fans often struggle to put into words? The truth is, it's probably all of it. As the interview continued to circulate, media outlets began reframing the moment as more than a passing comment. Headlines emerged highlighting the growing respect Western artists show toward BTS members individually, not just as a group, but as standalone creatives. And once again, Taehyung found himself at the center of that conversation. This wasn't the first time his name surfaced in unexpected places,
Nor will it be the last.
but what made this moment stand out was its simplicity.
No hype, no spectacle.
Just a genuine answer that revealed something quietly profound. For ARMYs, the emotional response went beyond excitement. Many expressed a sense of validation, especially fans who have long connected Taehyung's artistry to themes of melancholy, nostalgia, and emotional complexity. They saw themselves in Hudson's choice, because when someone known for channeling pain into art says, "That's my favorite," it feels like a shared understanding. And perhaps that's the real story here. Not just that Chase Hudson named Kim Taehyung as his favorite BTS member, but that this choice reflects a deeper cultural alignment. A meeting point between artists who speak different languages but communicate through the same emotional vocabulary, in a world increasingly driven by algorithms, trends, and calculated virality. Moments like this stand out precisely because they don't feel manufactured. They feel human, they feel honest, and they remind fans why Kim Taehyung continues to captivate not just millions of listeners, but fellow artists who recognize something rare when they see it.